Hi, thanks for joining me today. This yoga sequence is designed to help you feel centered and balanced. So we're going to be going through a sequence of poses where we'll do something to the left and something to the right, a lateral flexion or a twist, and then we'll come back to a centered pose aligning the spine. And this is to help you notice your differences side to side and then being able to come back and find that center and that balance for you in the grounding pose. So for this sequence, helpful to have something to sit up on. I have a folded up blanket. You can use a firm cushion, a couple of saddle pads folded up if you are equestrians, and then if you don't have a yoga block, you can have a stack of books. You can just tie a little piece of string around them, but have a stack of books that's about this high if you don't have a yoga block. So we'll start in a seated position. So cross-legged if that's comfortable for you. If not, you can sit up on the knees if you'd like. You can even do this first little opening session in a chair if you would like. So find a nice comfortable seat. Feel the sit bones reaching down. Think of the crown of the head lengthening up. Widen across the collarbones. Make sure you have alignment, your head over your shoulders over your hips, so we're not collapsing and leaning forward for finding that nice neutral position for the spine. Let the hands rest on the thighs, palms facing up or down, whatever feels comfortable. And just for a few moments, close the eyes. So you can just take your focus inward and begin to bring awareness to your breath. So just notice the natural flow and rhythm of your breath. Feeling the breath gently moving in and out of the nose. And then begin to gradually take a deeper inhale. Think of the breath moving all the way down into the bottom of the lungs. And a longer, slower exhale as you empty the breath from the lungs. So keeping that steady flow and rhythm of your breath. Very gently let the eyes open. And again, as we move through the sequence, make sure you keep that steady flow of your breath. So gently bring the fingers out onto the mat, fingertips out onto the mat beside you. And again, still think of the sternum lifting. As you inhale, turn the palms up, float the arms all the way up and overhead in the sun breath. And then exhale, just float the arms back down by your side. So we'll just find this, our foundation in this movement here. Inhale, arms floating all the way up, lengthening up through the spine. So neutral position here. Exhale, the arms float down. Good, once more. Inhale, arms floating all the way up. And exhale, the arms float down. So this time, inhale, arms float all the way up and overhead. And then exhale, twist to your right. So let the left hand come in front, right hand come behind you. So just take a few breaths here. Inhale and exhale, just notice the position of your torso. Think of the torso still just wrapping around the spine. The spine is still vertical. Inhale and exhale again, collarbone still wide, crown of the head lengthening up. Inhaling and exhaling. And then as you inhale, lengthen the spine, lengthen the sides of the body, untwist, float the arms all the way up and overhead. And then take your twist to the left now. So right hand in front, left hand behind you. Couple breaths. Notice if this side feels different. Inhale and exhale. Just notice the movement of the breath through the body. And again, as you inhale, lengthen the spine, lengthen the sides of the body, untwist. As you come back to center, bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, press up through the palms as the shoulders release down, and we'll stay here a couple breaths with the spine in neutral. So find that focus on your breath, inhale and exhale. And make sure with the arms overhead that you don't have the arms so far back behind the head that you can't see your upper arms in your peripheral vision, because that puts a lot of tension in the upper back and the trapezius muscle, tops of the shoulders. So just think of, you can just barely see that upper arms in your peripheral vision there. Good. Now inhale, shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, press up through the palms, and then release the hands, float the arms gently back down by your side, little roll of the shoulders. Good. So we're going to come down to our back. If you do have a blanket, you can use this here. If you don't have one, that's okay. If you were sitting on a cushion, just move your cushion out of the way. But if you have a blanket, maybe unfold it so it's about this shape, and we're going to use a block for our bridge pose here in a moment. But your sit bones are going to be right on your mat. And as you come down onto your back, you want the tops of the shoulders to be resting on the blanket and the head resting on your mat. If the size of your blanket does not work with that, then just put your blanket off to the side. And again, if you have a pillow that you were sitting on, just don't worry about that, but just an option. So draw the right knee in towards the chest, extend the left leg out for a moment, just get a nice stretch through that right hip. Inhaling and exhaling. Now bend your left knee, bring the left foot to the mat, bring your right ankle just above the left knee, open that right knee out to the side. And this might be enough stretch for your hip. If you're feeling sensation in this hip already, just stay right there. If you want to feel a little bit more sensation, pick that left foot up off the mat, maybe interlace the fingers behind the thigh, lengthening the spine. And again, if that's too much sensation, just bring that foot right back down to the mat and just focus on the opening in the hip from this position. So your option here, take a few breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep the right foot flexed. The left foot can be flexed, or you can do a little circle of the toes of that left foot if you want, your option. But keep the right foot engaged. We want that whole right leg to be working. And then very gently release the left foot down, uncross the right leg. Now draw the left knee in towards the chest, extend the right leg all the way out. Flex both feet, heavy shoulders, gaze gently up towards the sky or the ceiling. Inhaling and exhaling. And then bend the right knee, place the left ankle just above the right knee, open that left knee out to the side. And again, if this is enough sensation for this hip, stay right here. A little bit more sensation, bring the right knee towards you, interlace the fingers behind the thigh. If you need a little bit more length here, you can place a sock or a strap or a scarf behind the knee and hold on to that. Again, left foot flexed, right foot can be flexed or pointed, or you can circle the toes. Just make sure you're breathing. And then coming back to our breath, another inhale and exhale, and then release the right foot down, release the left foot down. So now coming to a neutral position, we're taking that block now, lowest setting, or again, if you have that stack of books, press into your feet, lift your hips up, place the block underneath the pelvis. So it's not in the arch of my lower back. If it was in the arch of my lower back, my hips would fall down. So it's supporting the pelvis, fingertips reaching down towards the heels. You can kind of shrug those shoulders a little bit towards the spine. Thighs are parallel with each other, knees are underneath the heels are underneath the knees. Reach the fingertips down and then bend the elbows so your fingertips point up towards the ceiling. You're pressing into the backs of those upper arms and those elbows and those shoulders, outside edge of the shoulders. If you like, you can press into the feet enough that you lift the hips a little bit off the block, or you can just keep that activity in the legs and let the hips just lightly rest on the block. Inhaling and exhale. So important in a bridge pose here, when we are lifting the hips up and we have drawn those shoulders towards the spine, you want to keep your gaze up. So don't let your head turn to the side when you are in a bridge pose. Inhale and exhale. Then very gently lower. If you had the hips lifted, lower them to the block for a breath. Let the arms gently release down. Inhale and exhale. Now press into your feet, lift the hips up, slide your block out, lower, bring it over to the side, and then just slowly lower the hips down one vertebrae at a time, keeping that length in the lower back. Once you come down, just pause there for a breath. Inhale and exhale. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. You can crisscross the ankles and give yourself a little rock up to seated. And then once you come up to seated, you can just take your blanket that you might have been using, just move that out of the way, and let's come right to all fours, come to table pose. So in your table pose, spread the fingers wide, wrist under shoulders, knees under hips. Think of neutral position for the spine. So the lowest ribs are drawing towards the hips. Inhaling and exhaling, and then adding some flexion and extension for the spine. Exhale, round the spine up towards the ceiling or sky. Come into cat pose, and then inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, lift the heart and the sternum, take the gaze forward and up, come to cow pose. So keep that going with the breath. Exhaling. And inhale. Good. Exhaling. And inhale. Again, just exploring that movement, that flexion and extension of the spine. So after this next exhale, come back to neutral. Find your neutral spine in your table pose. Then curl your toes under. Lift the knees a couple inches off the mat in that neutral spine. Coming to a hovering table hold. Make sure you're breathing here. Inhaling and exhale. Good. Another breath. Inhale and exhale, and then gently release the knees down to the mat. Now bring the hands a little in front of the shoulders. Press into the fingertips, base of the knuckles. Lift the knees now. Send your sit bones up and back. Come to a bent knee, downward facing dog. So really think of pressing into the fingertips, the base of the knuckles. Bend the knees. If you'd like, you can pedal through the feet a little bit here, very slowly and gently, one leg at a time, nice and slow and gentle. Warming up through the legs. And then coming back to neutral in your downward facing dog, either with the knees bent or the legs straight, your option. Think of a little weight into the left heel. Inhale, lift the right leg up, three-legged dog. It does not matter how high it lifts. Then if you'd like, you can add a little opening for the hip by bending the knee, send the right heel over towards the left shoulder. Make sure you keep even weight in the hand, so don't let your weight dump in all into the left hand. Even weight in both shoulders and both hands. And then come back through that three-legged dog. Release the right leg down. And then inhale, lift the left leg up. Again, maybe just stay in that three-legged dog, or maybe even stay in downward facing dog. And then option again to bend the knee and open, do a little hip opener here, sending that left heel towards the right shoulder. Again, even weight in the hands and the shoulders. And then come back through that three-legged dog, align the spine, bring that left leg back, take a breath. Inhale and exhale. Now release the knees down to the mat. Uncurl the toes, and let's come to a wide knee child pose. So bring your big toes together, your knees towards the outside edges of the mat, hands towards the outside edges. Send your hips and back towards your heels. Let the forehead come down to the mat. If it doesn't come all the way down, you can use your block to rest the forehead on, or even stack up the hands if you'd like. Inhale and exhale. Again, neutral position here. And then press into the hands. Lift the torso up. Let's do a little lateral flexion from this shape. So let's walk the hands a little off the right side of the mat, lengthen through the crown of the head, and then let the forehead again come back down. If you need that little support, you can take that right hand, make a fist, and let your forehead rest on the hand, but keep that left arm extended so we're getting that stretch through the left side of the body. Inhaling and exhaling. And then pressing into the left hand, and that right hand, lift back up, walk back to center for a breath, align the spine. And then press into the hands, lift the torso, walk the hands off the left side of the mat. And again, find that nice length. If you need that support, let the head rest on that left hand or left fist maybe. Inhaling and exhaling. And then press into the hands, walk again back to center. So again, finding that neutral position for the spine here. Inhale and exhale. Then press into the hands, come back up to your table pose. Another neutral position in our downward facing dog. So hands in front, curl your toes under, sit bones up and back. Again, find that nice length in your spine. Option for the legs, knees can be bent or legs straight. And then once again, we're going to come through that three-legged dog. So inhale, lift the right leg up. This time, bend the knee, look towards the hands, step the right foot up beside the right hand, lower the left knee down and curl the toes. So make sure the heel is underneath the knee. Press into the feet. Inhale, float the arms all the way up and overhead. Neutral alignment for the spine here, but again, we're doing work here for the hips, that right hip. Now exhale, bring your right hand to the sacrum, left hand to the outside of the right knee as you twist to your right. Make sure that knee, that right knee doesn't get pushed inward. So push your right knee out into that left hand to stabilize the twist. And then come back through center, float the arms all the way up. Exhale, both hands down to the mat, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, come back through your downward facing dog here. Take a breath. Inhale and exhale. Now inhale, lift the left leg up. Step towards the left hand with that left foot, lower the right knee down and curl the toes. If the leg doesn't get all the way there, just take that hand, that left hand, help it step forward, then get of that alignment, left knee over top of that left ankle, press into the feet, float the arms again all the way up and overhead. Find your foundation here. Inhale and exhale, and then as you twist to the right, left hand behind you, right hand to the outside of the left knee, press that left knee out into that right hand so it doesn't collapse. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then come back through center. Again, float the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale the hands down to the mat, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, downward facing dog again. Find your alignment. Inhale and exhale. And then looking towards the hands, bring your shoulders over your wrists, press back through your heels, lengthen through the crown of the head, come to a plank pose. You can always bring your knees down. Inhale and exhale. And then release the knees to the mat, uncurl the toes, and come back to your variation of child pose. You can do wide knee as we did earlier, or just keeping those legs more parallel with each other. Let the forehead come down. Maybe the hands in front, maybe the hands beside the feet, whatever feels good. Inhale and exhale. And then very gently, as you're ready, come up to table pose, and then just swing the legs off to the side. Find what you were seated on earlier, and we're going to come again into that seated position. It's fall here, if you can tell. The leaves are falling. So, cross-legged seated position. Close your eyes, check in and see how you feel. Inhale and exhale. We're going to close with a little pranayama practice, even breathing, simple as counting to yourself. I will count for you. Actually, I'll count. We're going to full inhale for a count of 4, and then full exhale for a count of 4. And we'll do a few rounds of that. So just find, again, your comfortable seat. Take a regular breath in. Regular breath out, and then full inhale for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let your breath return to its normal rhythm. And again, just checking in, seeing how you feel. And then as you're ready, gently let the eyes open. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that practice helps you feel a little bit more centered and balanced. Again, exploring how our bodies feel side to side, but then coming back to that center, that neutral position for the spine to check in. So please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel and check out what I have offered below at Grey Horse Yoga, the classes that I teach. And I hope to see you sometime soon in the saddle or on the mat. Thanks. Bye-bye.